everyone, welcome back to another Reformer Pilates workout. I'm Izzy, I'm going to be taking you through this one once again. Now today we're going to be doing something a little bit nice and spicy, definitely for the shoulders and for the glutes. And to take us through today's workout, I'm also going to bring a set of dumbbells with me as well. I'm going 2 kilos, but feel free to go heavier or lighter if you prefer. It does get spicy, so bear with it though. All right, we're gonna start off just on either one red spring as a base, red and yellow as a challenge, or red and blue as a super challenge. And then just take a nice little lie down on your back for me. We're starting off with a little bit of a stretch here. Let's just start by bringing one knee all the way into your chest, hugging it in nice and close. Your other leg can just hang long on that foot bar there. Now, once you're here, just let those legs go heavy in your arms. We're going to start to circle that leg just around in that hip joint. So sending some love into that hip joint there. Once that feels good there, we're just going to start to take it back the other direction, reversing those circles back around here as well. Really good, everyone. Feel that stretch just for another 3 here. We're going to take those fingertips behind our knee, into. On your next one, fingertips just come and lace behind that leg. From here, can you hug that leg in as close as possible? Then we're going to press that leg up high to the sky. Feel that stretch through the back of the leg there. We hug it all the way in. We press it all the way up there. Just keep working between these 2 positions here, feeling that stretch through the back of the leg there. Really good. Trying to go that little bit further each time. Be mindful, try and keep this one moving though. I know that this is just the start of class, so our muscles aren't fully warm yet. So that's totally okay if you don't feel like you're your most flexible self at the moment. Let's go for a last 2. On this last one, just reach that leg up. We're going to finish off with our ankle here. Can you point and flex those toes? Now, if it is a little bit too strong down the back of the leg, you can softly bend that knee here. Keep the point and flex going though for me. That little bend is just going to take some of that pressure off that sciatic nerve. So feel free to take that bend if you need to here. Last 3, last 2, and last 1. We're going to switch straight to the other side. Hug that other leg in. Just starting with it, pulling that knee all the way into your chest there, feeling that little stretch through the hip. Once it feels good there, maybe just start to circle through that leg, circle through that hip joint. Again, with this one, I really like to let the leg be nice and heavy and guide these circles with my arms here. So really relaxing that leg, the arms are doing the work. If you haven't already, just start to reverse those circles back the other direction as well, so we're nice and even on each side. Last 3 here, we're going to switch into that hamstring stretch, in 2, and on that last one, fingertips come behind the knee there. So we hug it all the way in nice and close, then we press that leg up nice and high to the sky there. We hug it all the way in. We press it all the way up. Nice. Drawing it in and pressing it up here. If it's a little bit intense with the flexed foot as you press up, feel free to point the foot to take some of that tension off the back of the leg, or keep working through that flexed foot for a little bit more. Last 5 like this. So we're going to hold that leg up. Last 3. Last 2, and final 1, just that point and flex of the toes to finish this one off. If you want to take some of that pressure off again, maybe find that soft bend in the knee, otherwise keep that leg straight for that little bit of a stronger stretch there. Last 3, last 2, and last 1. Really good, everyone. All right, we're gonna start off our warm up just with a little bit of a foot bar press here. So let's come into a side lying position. I'm gonna prop myself up by bringing just my arm back behind my shoulder blocks there, and then wiggle myself so I've got a little bit of space. I can lift up through that chest, lift up through that rib cage. Hips are nice and stacked one on top of the other. I like to send my hips as well slightly more towards the back edge of my carriage. And then that top foot is going to come and find the front corner of that foot bar. Now stay nice and secure through your torso. We're just going to press that foot bar away and then we bend it back in. So we're just pressing it out there and bending it back in. As you press out, start to use that exhale breath as you press away. Inhale as we bring it back in. Now these first few here, we're just working more in our parallel position here. So keep your hips facing straight towards the side of the room for me. Keep those knees and keep those toes as well facing in that same direction. Nice. So we're pressing out long. We bring it back in. Again, using that exhale, we press it out. Inhale, we bring it back in. If you want to add on a little bit fun, feel free to add a little reach with that arm, or you can be more creative, add on something else. I'm not feeling super creative today, so just a normal reach is good for me. Beautiful, keep this going. Now as you're pressing, really try and maintain that little lift, particularly under that sort of shoulder armpit area here. So we really don't want to find that sinking down position because that's going to cause a big curve in our spine. We want to keep our spine nice and neutral. So maintain that little bit of a lift in that rib cage, maintain that space underneath your armpit there as we work through these presses. Nice, we're going to start to add in a little bit of a pulse here. So we're going to bring it in. We press out just halfway. Can you find a pulse? We press out the full way. We bring it all the way back in. So we're finding that halfway mark, finding our pulse, adding our press, bringing it back in. So working through that pulse, that press, bring it back in. If it's too confusing with the arm, just focus in on the legs here. Good. We've got another 10 like this. We're going to go just for that pulse. In 6, in 5, meet me at that halfway mark. In 3, in 2, last one, we're just finding that pulse. So we're pressing that carriage in and out an inch here. I really like these pulses to be a little bit more sticky, a little bit more slow, really working through that spring as we press it out and in. Let's go for another 6 like this. We're going to switch it up. Just turn out through that leg, turn out through that heel. In 3, in 2, last one here. Turn those toes out, turn that knee out. Keep that pulse going for me. So squeezing it out and in, out and in. Really good. Can you open up that knee that little bit more? Can we keep those hips nice and still and steady though for us? Really strong. We've got another 8 like this. We're going to finish off with our nice long presses in this turned out position. In 5, in 4, 3, 2, just finish it off with those presses. We press it out, we bend it in. We press it out, we bend it in. Last 15 seconds of work with this one. Again, add in that breath work. If it's for you here, exhale out, inhale back in. Keep that space underneath that rib cage for me. Turn out that knee that little bit more. This is your last 6, last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All the way back in there. A little bit of a pat out of that hip if you need. Alrighty, from there we're going to bring ourselves up and we're going to grab a hold of our dumbbells for a bit of arm work here. Starting nice and simple, all we're going to do is go for a little bicep curl with our overhead press there. So just start off working through a bicep curl, we press it up. Bicep curl, bring it down. So working, just lifting those dumbbells up and down here, starting to bring some warmth into those shoulders. Now, if you have gone for quite a heavy weight here, anything over, honestly, 2 kilos for me, then feel free to jump onto a lighter weight or ditch your dumbbells at any point if you need. That goes for all the other dumbbells as well and throughout the class. If it ever gets too strong or too heavy, just leave the layers that don't work for you, take the ones that do work for you. All right, we've got another 6 like this. We're going to reach those dumbbells up. In 4, in 3, in 2. On our next one, dumbbells up. Can we press one dumbbell to the sky, then the other? One dumbbell to the sky, then the other. Now, as we work through this, I really want us to find a bit more of an extra reach here. So we press up. Can you extend, lift that shoulder up for me as well? So we're getting our shoulders nice and warm, getting those scapula or getting those shoulder blades moving here as well. So rather than staying nice and square, really think about adding that extra reach on there. We've got 6 more seconds here. One last little combo to work through. In 5, we're going to work into our cactus position. In 3, in 2, final one, can we find our cactus? We squeeze it in, open it out. This is where the fire starts. Oh my goodness. Squeeze it in, open it out. Each time you squeeze it in, bring those elbows as close together as possible. Nice work, everyone. We've got 8. We've got 6. We're going to hold those dumbbells out to the side. In 4, 3, 2, last one, dumbbells out. Can we bring it out? Palms down, palms up. Ooh, palms down, palms up. Last 8, 7, 6. Keep it going for me for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. Roll out those shoulders. They should feel warm by now. All right, dumbbells can go just off to the side once again. We're going to finish up our legs on our second side. So swinging around. Again, find those hips nice and stacked. Find that forearm back down behind your shoulder block. And again, I like to wiggle my hips a little bit further back on the carriage just so I have a nice bit of stability through that carriage there. Top foot is going to come and find the front corner of that foot bar again. I'm making sure my hips are staying nice and stacked there. Knees and feet are lining up, facing straight towards the side of the room. All right, let's go for our press out. We bring it back in. We press it out. We bring it back in. Good. Now, as we move through, thinking about what our torso is doing, what our spine is doing, really focus in on our alignment once again. So find that length in the spine. Again, find that lift in that side waistline. So create space underneath that rib cage, underneath that armpit. Try and maintain that space as we work through this exercise here. It's also really nice to think about what part of the foot we're using as well. So as you press out and in, can you really think about that heel being your main connection as you press out and control back in? That heel is going to be our kind of like gateway all the way up into our glutes. So it connects through that posterior chain through the back of our leg, helping us fire up through our glutes here. If you want it, that arm can be added on. If it's not for you, that's so fine. We've just got another 8 like this till we start to add on that little pulse in the middle. Keep it going. Last 5, we're going to add on that pulse. In 3, in 2, on that next one, can you press out halfway? We find that little pulse, press the full way, bring it all the way back in. So pulse at that halfway mark. We press all the way out, we bring it back in. Find that pulse, find that press, control back to the stopper there. Beautiful. So just bringing a little bit of warmth into the legs here. Shouldn't be too crazy. Just getting everything warmed up for the rest of class. Nice, team. Keep this going. We're going to find that pulse in 8. Meet me ready to work through those pulses. In 5. In 4, 3, 2, find that halfway mark, just that pulse here. Check that those hips are nice and stacked. Check that you've got that lift in that waistline there. Check that those knees and feet are facing directly parallel. Beautiful, to the side of the room. We've got another 8. We're going to turn it out, keep those pulses going. In 5, in 4, 3, 2. Take that turn out for me. Keep that pulse going. So getting that little bit deeper, pressing it in an inch and out an inch here. Can you turn that knee out a little bit more, but keep those hips nice and steady? We've got 6. We've got 5. We're finishing off with our turned out presses. In 3, in 2, last one here. Let's just press it out. Squeeze it back in. Find that length again in those legs. Keep that turn out going for me. Nice and strong here. This is just our final 12 seconds of work. Really, again, pushing through that heel. Those toes are turning up to the sky. That knee is turning up to the sky. Those hips are staying parallel though. They are not turning up to the sky. All right, last 8, last 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We bring it all the way in. Good work, everyone. Have a little pat out if you need, have a little shimmy. We're gonna switch things up a little bit now and just get into a little bit of core work. Before we do though, can we just place our foot bar out of the way? So I'm just gonna drop it down. Perfect. Once it is out of the way, I'm just going to keep my spring the same because it's fairly heavy and my carriage will be fairly still. If you find you're wobbling around a little bit too much though, you're welcome to add on an extra spring just to stabilize there if you need. All right, let's go for a little lie down here. I'm just going to shimmy myself just out of those shoulder blocks. So I've got a little bit of room to move. Fingertips are just going to come behind my temples here. Now, 2 options with the legs. You can leave those feet down on your platform there for a little bit more stability, or for a little bit more challenge to the lower part of our body, we can float those legs up into that tabletop. So pick your own poison there. We're going to go just for a normal crunch to start us off. So deep breath in. As you exhale, we're just going to find that little lift. Inhale, we bring it back down. So exhale, we lift it up. Inhale, we bring it back down. Just getting started here, lifting and lowering. This won't be too long, this won't be too crazy. We'll save that for a little bit later in the class. Just working on that lift and lower of our chest here. Now, as we do work through our crunches, it's really good to think about using some of those deeper core muscles here and really focus in on our technique. So as you lift and lower, can we really use that exhale breath to guide the body up? That inhale breath as we lower back down. That exhale is going to help us use some of those deeper core muscles and start to turn on, I guess, the right messages, send those right messages to our abdominal muscles there. We can also think about that belly button drawing down towards our spine here, so avoiding that doming sensation, and our rib cage gently closing in here as well. Nice. All right, let's start to work through a little bit of a twist. We lift up, we're going to twist to one side, twist to the other side, back to center, bring it back down. Lift up, twist to one side, twist to the other side, back to center, lower it back down. I think my neighbors have decided now is a really good time to do some drilling or something, so hopefully you guys can't hear that, but if you can, sorry about it. Bring it down. So we lift up, we go for that twist, twist, back to center, and down. We've just got 8 more seconds like this. Legs, lower body is just staying nice and still and steady, nice and secure there. We've got 5, we're gonna hold it up, just finish off with a twist, pulsing through that twist. In 3, in 2, pick a side, hold that side, we're just going to crunch it up and up here. If you want more, maybe a hand reaches over, just guiding you that little bit further into this pulse for me. Can you start to bring those shoulder blades up that little bit further? Work through that crunch that little bit stronger here. Last 4, we're gonna switch sides. In 3, in 2, in 1, switch it over straight to the other side here. Lift up that little bit further, keep that crunch going. Make sure those knees are staying over those hips if you're in that tabletop here. Last 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Have a little stretch out there. Alrighty, from here we are going to bring ourselves up and get into a little bit more strength work, particularly for those glutes and then for the rest of the body, of course. So springs, a few options for springs. I actually encourage you guys to go a little bit heavier today with your springs. So you're currently set on your one red, your red yellow, or your red blue for an extra challenge. But if you do want a little bit more, I encourage you to bump it up a level or try something a little bit more challenging today. So that means your base option would be your red yellow, your challenge would be your red blue, and then if you want something super crazy, you can try red blue yellow as a bit more. That one is quite spicy though, so see how you go. With that one as well, I really encourage having sticky socks on or grippy socks on, just because the heavy springs are a little bit more resistant and it won't be as easy to move the carriage without sliding. So dumbbells are going to come with us. We're going to stay on our nice heavy springs today, and I'm going to bring myself up on my reformer. So I'm going to step one foot up onto my platform, other foot up onto my carriage here. Now, for this one, dumbbells are going to stay in our hands. We're actually going to keep our carriage nice and closed here as we work through some squats. So just start to lower yourself down and squeeze back up. So we're just lowering and squeezing back up here. Now, with our squats, as I said, we really want to keep our carriage as still and steady as possible today. Sometimes I do teach squats holding a bit of a gap in the carriage, but for this round here, we want to keep it fairly still, fairly steady. Another thing to think about as well is, again, where our weight is going. So similar to that foot bar press exercise, we want to think about our weight being in the heel of our feet here. So as you lower down, weight is in the heel of your feet. You press through your heel as you stand back up. So lower down, weight is in your heel, press through your heel as you stand back up. Keep that going here. If you want a little bit more right away, let's start to add that press of our dumbbells overhead. So we squat down, press those dumbbells up as we stand it up. Now you can work out whatever pace feels good for your body. You don't have to move as fast as me. You can move faster if you want to. Whatever feels good for you. You are the boss of your body here, boss of your movement. You set the rules. So push through whatever you feel like today. All right, we've got 5 more like this. We're gonna start to add on a little bit more. In 3, in 2, on your next one, we come down, we find our squat. From here, we're going to transfer all of our weight over onto our platform foot. Our carriage foot is actually going to come up and off our carriage. Can it reach back behind us? We're going to do a step back down off our reformer. Go low. We bring it back up, find that squat again, press overhead. So we come down. We step it back, tap that toe back behind you. We come back up onto our carriage, bring it all the way back up there. Now, couple options here. My reformer is elevated here, so I find it is a little bit easier for me if I step properly down, but for a challenge, particularly if you're on a lower reformer, I encourage you just to reach that toe back, tap the ground, bring yourself back up, and go back into that squat press. So work through whatever challenge feels good for you here. As we do go for that little tap down though, the main thing I want everyone to think about is what their hips are doing. So as you come down, it is a little bit easy to lose control of our pelvis and go into a bit of a hip drop here. Try and keep your hips as level as possible as you lower down, as level as possible as you bring it back up and in. Nice, keep this energy going, nice and strong here. We've got another 5. We're gonna start to add on a little bit more, start to add on a skater. In 3, we're gonna step back up from that toe tap. In 2, on our next one, we've just done that toe tap, find both feet down. We're gonna go for a press out. We find that skater, we bring it back up. So just adding on that skater there, we step down, bring it up, got that skater. Really good. Find that skater. Now, if you want some arms with that skater, we're gonna step up onto that carriage. Can we go for our tricep kick back as we go for our skater? We go for that overhead press as we bring it back up. So we're starting to add on that tricep kick back here.
Now with those heavier springs, this skater will have to be that little bit more explosive here. So really exploding, pressing that carriage out to the side, bring it all the way back in as we reset. Staying nice and low the whole time here, particularly on that carriage leg. This is our last 6. We're gonna finish off with that skate. In 4, in 3, 2, stay in that squat deep, nice one. Let's go just for those skates here. So pressing that carriage out and in. Try and stay heavy over on that platform foot. Get those arms going if it's for you. We've got 8 more seconds to go. Feel the burn here. Last 6. We're gonna find that squat. In 5, 4, 3, 2, find that squat. Last one, can we punch it out with those dumbbells? Here for 10. Get lower in those legs, keep that carriage still. Last 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it up. Whew. Shake it out for me, everyone. Have a shimmy, have a shake, have a stretch out. Legs get a rest for this next one. We're gonna bring ourselves onto our carriage for some arm work now. So switch up those springs. One yellow is gonna be your base. Yellow on the top row is a bit more of a challenge, or you can try one blue as an extra challenge here. We're just gonna be needing one of your dumbbells, so the other one can go off to the side. From there, I'm gonna reach back and grab a hold of just one of my short straps. The other hand is gonna hold my dumbbell. So one hand holds my short strap, other hand holds that dumbbell there. All right, from here, we're gonna go straight into an offering. Elbow is gonna come in nice and close, palm is facing up. Same with that dumbbell hand here. Start with that chest nice and tall, shoulders are open. We're gonna start to offer everything forwards, control it back in. Offer it forwards, bring it back in. So just starting with those reaches forwards and back in. As always with our offerings here, we're really trying to keep control of this movement. Each time those elbows come back in, make sure they're just brushing against the back of the rib cage, trying to avoid that kind of chicken wing look there. So keep those elbows tucked in nice and close, bringing them in, brushing that rib cage and pressing them out here. The other thing you'll notice is because one hand has a dumbbell, the other hand has a strap, you're a little bit asymmetrical here in the weight that they're holding. So really just try and hone in on your symmetry here, moving those arms at the same tempo, the same speed, even though they've got kind of different challenges going on here. All right, we've got our last 3 like this. We're gonna reach it forwards in 2. On our next one, press it forwards. From there, that strap arm is gonna pull back. We find a twist. Then we're gonna switch it over, that dumbbell arm pulls back. So we're finding a twist, strap arm goes back. Press that strap forwards, dumbbell goes back. Working through our rotation here. Finding that twist each time, trying to twist that little bit further, really thinking about that twist coming from our spine, coming from our rib cage there. So you can imagine growing that little bit taller in your spine, helping you twist and rotate that little bit further each time here. If you want more, let's add our low to high kneel here as well. So as that strap arm comes forwards, we're gonna press those hips up, lift those hips up. As that strap arm comes back, those hips lower down. Oofed, I am feeling this. We've got just another 10 like this. We're gonna hold everything forwards. Last 6, press both arms forwards. In 5, 4, 3, 2, final one, both arms forward, just that dumbbell is gonna be lifting and lowering here. Try and hold everything else still and steady. Option to find that low kneel if this is too strong in the high kneel. So work through whatever challenge works for you. Last 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Down we go. All right. strap back behind us. Dumbbells are going to go off to the side there. Have a little pat out of those legs. Have a little shimmy out there. All right. Straight from here, we're going to change it up, challenge a little bit more through the core and shoulders once again. So with your springs, can everyone just add on a blue spring? If you only have one blue spring on your reformer and you're already on the blue spring, you can add on your yellow to the top row of notches. All right, from there, wiggle yourselves back. We're gonna find our hands onto our platform there. Our feet are gonna find a little tucked position in our shoulder blocks back behind us. Let's just take a second to have a little reset here. So work through a bit of a cat-cow, arching through that spine, bringing that gaze up, and then tucking that chin to chest, going back the other way. So finding that flow there from side to side here. If it feels good for you, you're welcome to take a quick little wag through the tail, whatever movements your body is calling for. Once we're feeling good here, we're going to start to make that cat-cow smaller and smaller until we find the midway point between the two here. So we're working our way into our neutral spine. One more moment. Find that neutral spine for me. We should now be in a really nice 4-point kneel. Chest is lifted, core is drawn in, our tail is reaching long behind us. From here, we're going to start to work through a little bit of a knee tuck series. So stay strong through the upper body. Shoulders are going to stay over those wrists. Just those knees are going to unfold into a half plank. We bring them back under. So just those knees unfold. We bring them back under. Maybe choosing to use that exhale on the way out here. That inhale as those knees reset under each time. Now this can be a little bit strong on the wrists, so feel free to come up onto your fists if that feels better for your body here. Just keeping those wrists that little bit more elongated if that works for you better. Really good, team. So each time you press out, think about squeezing those glutes, tucking those tails under. Control that carriage back into the stopper each time. Keep that chest supported. Keep those shoulders nice and spread out. We've got another 5 like this. We're going to start to add on some core work. In 3, in 2. On your next one, close your carriage in, stay in that 4-point kneel. From here, I'm going to keep my toes tucked. We're just going to find a knee hover. So hover those knees up and off your carriage. We control those knees back down. Can we work through 2 of our knee tucks there? Good. We bring it in. We're going to hover it up. Hold for just a second. Lower it down. 2 of our knee tucks. So starting to add on that core challenge there with those knee hovers. They can be quite strong, our knee hovers. So really take your time with them. If you need to have a little cat-cow reset in between these movements, please feel free to go for it at any time here. Otherwise, this is just our last 8. We're going to finish off working through those little hovers, saying hello to our core. Last 5, knee hovers, in 3, in 2, final one here, stay strong through those arms. Can we go just for that knee hover up? We control it back down. Just that hover up, carriage stays still, we control it back down. If you want more of a challenge here, you're welcome to hover up. Can you go for a twist to one side? A twist to the other side with those knees, bring it back to center, lower it back down. Keep that spine nice and long. Keep that chest nice and lifted here. Just working through those twists. This is our last 8. You guys are getting it so good here. We can do this. Last 5, 4. I'm shaking for 3, 2, and 1. Cheeky child's pose there. Have a little stretch out. And then bring it back in. Really good. We've got a tiny little bit more challenge for our core before we start to even things up on our second side. So can we just grab one of our dumbbells and take a little lie down on our carriage here? Again, just like at the start of class, have that little wiggle out of your shoulder blocks there, so you've got a little bit more room to move. Dumbbell's going to be held in both hands. We're reaching that up to the sky there, and then we're going to float those feet up into our tabletop position. Starting nice and simple here, we're just going for a crunch. Can you reach that dumbbell over those knees? We control back down. So we lift up, reach that dumbbell, control back down. Using that exhale as we find that lift, that inhale as we find that lower there. Nice. Again, similar to that exercise at the start of class, think about drawing that belly button in towards your spine, avoiding that doming sensation here of your cores, using that exhale breath as we lift, that inhale breath as we lower. To start to add on, can we add on a single leg extension as we lift? We bring it back in as we lower. So exhale, single leg extension, bring it back in as you lower. If you find that your carriage is rocking around here, that may be because you're using momentum rather than control to work through your crunches. So if your carriage is wobbling around, start to take things a little bit slower here, controlling that lift up, controlling that roll back down. Our final layer here is adding on a little bit of a circle of that knee with your dumbbell. So we lift up, can we pass that dumbbell behind our knee, bring it back down. Pass that dumbbell behind, we bring it back down. So spicy here. Ooh, super good. Keep this energy going, keep those passes going, keep bringing that dumbbell behind that leg. We have got 6 like this. We're gonna hold up, finish off with those passes behind those legs. In 5, in 4, hold it up, in 3, 2, final one, hold it up, just that pass behind one leg, then the other. One leg, then the other. If this gets too strong, feet can come down, just work on that pulse up with that crunch here. Otherwise, this is our last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We bring it down. Super good, everyone. From there, we're just going to start to reset things on the second side for our movement now. So bring ourselves back up. That one dumbbell is going to stay our friend. We're going to even up our arms to start us off here. We're going to take off that blue spring that we added on. So we should end up back on our one yellow on the top row for a bit more, or one blue for our challenge there. Perfect. Once we're there, this time we're going to grab our short strap in the other hand, and dumbbell is going to stay in that other hand as well. So switch over the hands to the ones that we did before. Starting again with that offering, chest is lifted, shoulders are out wide, palms are facing the sky. We're going to start to reach those hands forwards and then bring those elbows back in here. So offering everything forwards, bringing it back in. Start to use that exhale breath as you press it forwards. Inhale breath as we bring it back in there. Similar to that first side as well. Hopefully you'll notice that things feel a little bit uneven here. There's a bit of a difference between that dumbbell and the strap. So again, try and find that symmetry here. Try and find that same pace with each arm as we slide those arms out and slide them back in. We've got just another 6 like this. We're gonna hold it forwards in 5, in 4, start to work through rotation in 3, 2, on that next one, hold it forwards. We start to draw that strap arm back, find that twist. We switch it over, dumbbell pulls back. So going from that twist to one side, then that twist to the other side there, working through that rotation, looking back over that shoulder. Again, finding that little bit of length in the spine here to help with that rotation as well. So staying nice and lifted, staying nice and long as we twist from side to side here. Again, if you wanted that extra, we can start to add that high kneel as that strap comes forward. So we press that strap forwards, lift those hips up, we bring that strap back, we lower those hips down. Really strong. Last 8 like this. We're gonna hold everything forwards. Finish off with those lift and lowers of that dumbbell. In 4, in 3, press it forwards. In 2, final one here, hold everything forwards. Just that dumbbell lifts and lowers. It lifts and lowers. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We bring it down. Alrighty, from here we just have some legs to even up on our second side. So let's set those heavy springs back up again. So if you did want that little bit less, it was 1 red, but I do challenge you to bump it up a little bit. Maybe trying a red yellow as a base option, a red blue as a challenge, or a red blue yellow as a super challenge. That is very spicy though. All right, once we have those springs set, we're just going to take our dumbbells with us again and make our way up onto our reformer. Make sure you're facing the other way than the way you faced the first time, so we're nice and even here. All right, 1 foot up on the platform, other foot up on the carriage. We're gonna bring those feet as close together as we can there and just start off with our squats. So lower those hips down and squeeze them back up each time here. Really, again, thinking about sending our weight into our heels as we lower down, pressing through those heels as we bring ourselves back up each time. As we work through these squats as well, it's really important that we're keeping our alignment nice here too. So think about those knees pointing out over your toes as you find that squat. Good. That chest coming up nice and tall each time as we stand it back up. All right. If you want your arms, let's start to add our overhead press. Now, technically, our arms are nice and even at this point. So if your arms are getting super tired, that's okay. You're welcome to leave out the arm work here, just holding the dumbbells at your chest to work that little bit extra through the legs. But if you can, we are almost there. I encourage you to keep pushing through this one. Really give it your all. Really strong here. Alrighty. Let's go for another 5. We're going to start to add that little sneaky little toe tap behind us. In 3, in 2. Next time we come down, can we find that squat? Again, we transfer all of our weight over onto that platform foot. Our carriage foot comes off. Can we start to reach it back behind us? We come down that little bit lower. Can we tap those toes on the ground? We bring ourselves back up. Find that spot on your carriage. Overhead press, we bring it back up. So we squat it low. We tap it behind. We bring it back up. Press up to the sky there. So as you step back onto that carriage, stepping back up into that squat, big press overhead here. Again, we want to try and watch out as much as possible for that little dip in those hips. It is going to be harder if your reformer is elevated because you have a further way to go. But if you can, try and keep those hips as even and as steady as possible as you lower down and then as you lift back up. That platform foot, that platform leg should be on fire here. It's doing most of the work here. That carriage leg is just along for the ride, really. All right, we've got 8 like this. We're gonna start to add on that skate, really start to spice up those glutes. We've got 5, we've got 4, find that squat for me. In 3, in 2, on your next one, you've just come back up from that toe tap. We stay low, weight is still on that still on that platform foot. We go for that skate out, we bring it up, we press it up. So we squat down, toe tap, we've got that nice skate out before we bring it back up there. So we bring it down, toe tap, find that skate as we bring it out and in. If you're wanting arms for that skate, feel free to add on that little kickback with those dumbbells, saying a little hello to those triceps here. Keep this work going. We have got just another 10. We're going to meet in that skater to power this one out. This is our last 6. Keep going nice and low on that platform leg. We're so strong, we're almost there. In 4, we're just gonna work that skate. In 3, in 2, last one, just that skate. We press it out, we bring it back in. We are on fire here. Keep working through that tricep if you can as well. Go that little bit lower in our legs. We're here for 8. We're gonna find that squat one last time. Keep pressing through it, everyone. We're almost there. Last 5. Find that squat in 3, 2, 1. Stay in your squat. Just that punch out of those dumbbells to finish. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo, we bring it back in. Oh my goodness, have a little shake out. Have a little shimmy out. Dumbbells are done for today. See you later, dumbbells. I've had enough of you. Have a good shake out. Have a good shimmy out. We're gonna finish off with a stretch here. I encourage you just to bring that foot bar back up, locking it back into place there. I'm gonna bring myself down onto one blue spring or one medium spring. And we're gonna go for a stretch out to finish this off. So we're finding almost like that lunge setup here. I promise there's no lunges. We're gonna find one foot on the ground, other foot back in our shoulder block. Knee is gonna be down on our carriage. Hands come onto that foot back and we just find a little tuck under there, like a bit of a standing cat-cow here. And then go back the other way. Just aiming to keep the carriage nice and closed for now. So tuck it underneath and go back the other way here. If this feels good for you, please stick with this. If you did want a little bit more though, just think about having a soft tuck in that tail. Then we're gonna press out, find a bit of a stretch through that hip flexor here. So really find that tuck in that tail before you press out and find that stretch. Option to keep the fingertips on the foot bar if that feels good for you, or bring them off onto your hips if that feels better for you here. Really aiming to find a little bit of length in the front of the hip there. Beautiful. From here, I encourage us to also stretch out through the spine. So find that little bit of a stretch there. Take that outside hand off your foot bar. Find that rotation, that stretch around there. And bring it all the way back in. So we press out, we find that rotation. We bring it all the way back in. This is just our last 3 like this. Last 2, and just finish off that last one there. Before heading to the second side, just wiggle yourself onto your carriage. Quick little stretch out for those arms and shoulders here. Can we just start by lacing those fingertips back behind our body and pulling those hands away, feeling that little chest opening, feeling that stretch through the front of the shoulders there. Aiming just to hover those hands up that little bit further if we can here. Good. From here, we release those fingertips. Can we bring one hand over our chest, just drawing it in, finding that little bit extra of a stretch through the shoulder there. And then when you're ready, straight to the other side. Other hand draws in, find that little stretch for the shoulder there as well. Hugging it in as close as possible here. Beautiful. We're going to finish off with our stretch for that second side of our legs. So bring one foot down on the ground, other foot back in that shoulder block. Knee is nice and secure. We're starting with that tuck of the tail, tuck of the chin to chest, and go back the other way. So working through that standing cat-cow here, tucking it in and flowing it back the other way. Beautiful. From here again, if you want that hip stretch, start to tuck that tail under for me, then slide that carriage out. Feeling that stretch through the front of the hip there. You're welcome to go as deep as feels comfortable for you, but I really do encourage that little bit of an extra tuck on that tail, really just to find that stretch through the hip flexor and through the front part of the thigh, so through that quad a little bit as well here. Our final layer, if you did want it, is also adding on that rotation. So find that stretch, go for that little swivel out and around, and then close it back in. So using that hand that's on the outside of the reformer there to go for that swivel, and then control it back in. This is our last 5 like this. Just finding our flow. 4, 3, 4, 2, and final one there. That is all from me for today, guys. That was quite a spicy one for me, so I hope it was for you as well. Definitely very fiery through my shoulders and through my legs there, so I hope you really enjoyed that. If there's any questions or feedback, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.